A po čemu vidiš? Okay.
Tu sad snima, dobro?
Aha, okay.
Okay.
So now we are going to change into English. Welcome. Well, I'm happy that you are here. And I hope it will be, you will find something in our lecture. Okay. I just wanted to tell you what we are going to do today. I mentioned the performance which you were supposed to watch, but some people couldn't watch it. Another thing is to start, because some of you were not here yesterday. It was a more theoretical day about image theater or visual theater or the theater of objects. So I have to make an introduction to this media, to this kind of theater. It will be perhaps a little bit boring to those among you who were here yesterday, but I'll try not to be too long. And after that, there are some things which I've chosen out of my work, and I like to lead you through the gallery of photographs from the performances, and also with I'd like to put the stress on things which I think you can somehow read from these photos, because you know it is not easy to imagine things which you haven't seen. But I'll try this way today. I think we can start with the presentation now.
Wait a bit.
Dobra. A mysterious hand is coming and helping.
Wow. Okay. Do you see presentation? No. So.
Ne, sad je pitanje to ono što mene muči. Da li ono ne vidi što mi vidimo?
Ne. Kaj vidi? What do you see? Something wrong. Samo da nađem gdje je taj slajd. Tu.
We see something.
But something wrong. Wait. And now, do you see presentation? Open. Okay.
Okay. So I can start. Okay. Image theater. I've chosen this photo because I wanted to point out that we are not talking about logic and the literature and things we are supposed to know, but we are going to another field, to another world of imagination and the world of intuition, and so all the things which are somehow at the edge of our education. Here, in short, I'll try to tell you how I came to this kind of theater. I started as a child with the dance, music, fine arts, and later on as a student of philosophy. You can't hear it often, but for me, puppetry, I mean the art of puppetry, is also philosophy. Why? Because it deals with the relation of living and non-living, you know, subject and object. For me, it is very philosophical topic. Then I found all these fields which I've mentioned in the first line. I found somehow myself in the puppetry, and I discovered the whole world of it, the world of synthesis, the world of total theater, because all the fields can be present, involved here. After some time in puppetry, I've seen that it is much broader field, labyrinthine field, where there's no end to it. And you are always discovering new things. For example, owing to these various disciplines which come into puppetry, I somehow started to use the means of expression of another arts, like dance, fine arts, of course, film, music. So it gave me the possibility to go much further. Also, when I was in the art of puppetry and started working with children, somehow and sometimes I have the wish to tell something about my feelings, not only about things which children are interested in, you know. So why not to talk about to talk about the things you feel deeply? And it logically led me to the puppetry for adults. And when we summit different means of expression and adult audience, I also found that it is it is even more broader field, and somehow it also led me to the image theater, which we are talking about today. Since some of you were not present yesterday, I'll try to say in short that we shouldn't bother with it, whether it is called image theater or the theater of objects, the theater of visual theater, because it is a relatively new field within arts. The analyses haven't been been done in a proper way, not yet. So different theoretics, there are not many of them, call it in different terms. But we know what is the most important thing, essential thing here, that all this, let's say, image visual theater somehow stem from the puppet theater, and it is because it is the meaning in the same way of thinking. So we can say also that they derived from the puppet theater, and this connection is sometimes been forgotten. I established or founded the Ensemble of Facades in Zagreb in 1993, and we started with the performances exclusively for adults. It was a group of students of theater, philosophy, and related fields. One of the performances we have made, not at the beginning, was Maiden's Leap, or Springtime in the Blind Alley. And it was the performance which Igor has chosen to present you. So we are going further. You know, in this field called, let's say, image theater, we don't start with literature. It is not the starting point, as it is usually in the drama theater. We can start from anything, from different things. It can be a dream. It can be a picture. It can be something like, something that what happened to you and struck you in everyday life. It can be nature. It can be a poem. Different things. It means in the beginning you are very free. It is a wonderful feeling to be free, but it obliges very much. You know, it is much difficult when you have not the script you are working on, and when you are in some dilemmas, how to solve some problems. There is always a good old script. Here, there is no script. So if you like, how to say, to be free, it is the field for you. Of course, there are some things you have to obey. What is basic in this writing in images, because it is not writing in text, writing in words. And one author says the image theater needs its own author, its own writer. You know, he doesn't care about what was written in text, because in any case, even if he starts with the text, he has to rewrite it in images. you know. So it is, how to say, to directing by images. And by juxtaposition of images, by the technique of montage or collage, he makes the whole, starting from those small units which are called images. Of course, it is also like in puppetry, inanimate objects become subjects, but not only puppets. Well, it is also, how to say, what is considered by puppet. We can also think about it, whatever puppet can be. Costumes, sets, scenography, it can also be the subject, like a living being. So the standard roles of fine arts have changed essentially. It means that there is not anymore present the borderline between various disciplines in the theater. We can't say anymore what is scenography, what is puppet, what is costume, living, I mean the body of a person. It can be hybrid, it can be half a puppet or half object and half a man. Scenography can walk on the stage and produce the feeling that it is a living being, you know, the subject. So what is also important is that this kind of theater has much more possibilities to offer illusion, which is in drama theater somehow usually too poor. And science, the world of science, some people say symbols, but signs are not, it is not the same meaning, more or less different. There is no causality. It means the cause and effect relation. We don't care about it because we are in the world of intuitive, as I've already said, in dreams, in emotions, ambiguity. Ambiguity, it means that there is no one way of reading what you see on the stage. You offer something, but the audience is also active, and what they see and how they feel, it also depends on who they are. You know, there is no wrong way of reading and understanding performance. The wrong way can be if we didn't do our job well, if we didn't establish codes, like keys, you know. So it is the wrong way. It refers to us as authors, but the audience can't be wrong. Different perceptions of these basic elements. It means that actor is not the same actor as he is in drama theater. Peter Schumann, an American puppeteer, says, I'm not using the word actors for those people I work with. They are just my people. Well, it doesn't exclude actor from the puppet theater and from the stage. Because there is a variety of relations between subject and object, between living and not living, of course, because the puppetry is the art of relations. You know, that's also philosophy. So there are different relations. Sometimes, let's say practically, a man with a puppet, he is to be seen on the stage. So if he's to be seen on the stage, he's visible on the stage, he can be a person who you neglect in a few seconds because he doesn't attract attention. All his feelings and all his motions and all his ideas, he puts into the object, into the puppet. And that is how he makes it live. Another possibility is that he is hidden behind the curtain or any other things on the stage. So it is then different relation, and we must be aware of what we really want. Do we want that the actor is hidden or not? Do we want that he is neglected? He doesn't have to hide, but he doesn't communicate with the audience. And the third way would be that he is visible, and not only visible, but he remains an actor, like in a drama theater. It means in that relation, he is the man who is in dialogue with the puppet or object, you know, and then he is really an actor. So there are many, many relations and many possibilities. Mask is also very interesting media. In all my performances and workshops, I've always used different kinds of masks. Neutral mask, character masks, mask for the whole, not only for the face, mask for the body, mask for the scene, which sounds unusual. There is an Italian author, Sartori, who also made masks for the towns. Have you heard of it? For cities. Very, very interesting. You know, with the mask, it is so deep field in psychological sense and philosophical sense, but it is not possible now to talk more about it because it is too vast. Then I'll come probably back while looking the photos on these things, so I'm not going to talk about it anymore. Here, there is a short text from Henry Bosco. Perhaps some of you have read this book, Silvius, called Silvius. In reading these books, I found this passage, which I never forget how it was for me very interesting and true, because he describes, he talks about a man who is walking in a town and coming to a place, to a house, which he somehow detected there is something happening there in the ceiling perhaps. And he came downstairs and he found something which was going on like a performance. But it was not usual performance he was used to watch. It was something extraordinary. It was more, it referred to feelings more than to intellect. And he gives this short description of it, which has for me become a motto. And sometimes when somebody doesn't understand what I'm doing or what I'm working and how I'm doing my performances, because they are not so rational and can't be analyzed to the end and without clear and just one meaning, then I come to it and I say, well, this is my field here. I feel what I am, what I really am. So it starts, the quotation, it is not the beginning of this description. I'll read it, so perhaps not perfectly, but I should. And so they played, but no one could ever say what it was. It was mere playing with no other aim, a magic transcending magic, where figures are born out of music and live within it and disappear through it, just to create a place for sounds, for images, and for living beings, just for living beings. Living being is caught between words and tune in a world slipped away from this world, stealthily by miracle, and that vague world lived, unmoored where it soared, and elsewhere, and judging by the turmoil it caused with the audience, some incomprehensible way, the visible story veiled the invisible story, one apparent to the eye, which could not be comprehended, but which evoked allure, and the other, cloaked yet more palpable, whose presence stirred the very souls, and the souls understood. Well, I think that what is more essential in it, perhaps there are some more difficult words which are not often used, but he wanted to say that the feelings are here the most important, not watching the performance as get information, but to feel it, to live it during the performance, and that it touches your soul and all the irrational being. So there is a visual level which could be seen, and another level which can't be seen. We're coming to Maiden Sleep. The first performance I'm going to present in photos. It is, we can start and then after we stop, okay?
Okay.
So we'll start with Maiden Sleep and then we'll make a pause to start another part. I wanted just to say something about the title. You know, Maiden's Leap. I don't remember after 21 years how I came to this title, but it is very significant and in visual part of the performance, it has a very important role. Springtime in Blind Alley, it was an exhibition of the artist Slava Raškaj, and so perhaps I'll go first to talk about her and then come back to the title. Slava Raškaj was a Croatian most prominent watercolorist of all time, or ever, to say. Born deaf-mute, a woman painter, that is interesting, you know, because she was in the surrounding where the men painters were dominant with their big war motifs, with big ateliers and all that. And she was just how to say, a creature, a woman, you know, somehow, when you say deaf mute, it means with some excluded on many ways, and very much close to the nature. That's why she has chosen watercolor technique. Exhumated in eternal silence, she must have heard what others could not hear. Sharing the sorrows and destiny of those ahead of their time, she has flown away, not reaching the age of 30. So it is just biographical part of it. So another quotation, they attempted to turn her away from talking to things and to get her to talk to people. Now mind it, not talking to things and not talking by things. We, in our professions, like to talk to things, and we imagine they are alive, we believe they're alive, and we also talk by using things and objects. So we ourselves are constantly involved with the silence talk by things, and we have trouble maintaining the fragile illusion of their life. Perhaps it was somehow the link how I started to get my interest for this painter. There are many links, of course. We are told that she used to jump from the benches in the Stenjevac Asylum. It is, you know, asylum house where some people who are mentally ill are closed, although sometimes it is the question if they are really ill or they are somehow misunderstood and ahead of their time. That's the question. Waving her arms like a bird. Maiden Sleep, well, it is a critic has written it, Nataša Govedić. Maiden Sleep, a lyrical production conceived by KT, has finally allowed Slava to fly. Now I can say what means the title Maiden Sleep, because if you can't fly, you try to jump from the chair and to pretend that you are flying, you know. The last Maiden Sleep is through the frame of the picture, which becomes the door to the light. It is the end of my performance, but if you haven't seen it, no problem. Another title, oh, okay, finish, such a big one. Another title is the kasni lesson. Springtime in the Blind Alley. On this exhibition of Slava Raškaj's work, I have seen one painting, aquarelle, which was entitled The Springtime in the Blind Alley. So it was very touching to me to see that the blind alley, you know what is dead end, blind alley, has also its spring, as every alley, every street. And she, who didn't live for 30 years and who was deaf, mute and excluded from the society, she had also her springtime. Sad ja mislim da još slike pokažemo. Okay. Now, some illustrations, how to say, from the performance. The performance have been divided in 2 or 3 parts. The first part with these horizontally stretched materials, it refers to her childhood and to general to childhood of all of us. Because of these horizontal canvases, there was a possibility to play with the objects which emerge from depth. It means from unconscious, in fact. So it was for me symbolic of unconscious life. And I have carefully chosen the objects which will appear. Those who haven't seen the performance, for those I should say that it was very slowly, very, very slowly, like in a dream, because then you're not sure whether you are dreaming or it happens in fact. I've chosen this photo for you to show this seesaw. You know what is this for children in parks, where two persons sit on the seesaw, and so it works. Later on in the performance, there is a seesaw again, but it is huge in different scale because it is not anymore in the realm of childhood. It is real life, but on another seesaw, she is alone. There is a woman's creature or shape of a woman who is sitting on one side. On another side, there is no one. For me, it was a very strong sign when I have established it, because I think that if something is supposed to be used for 2 people, and it is now just one, and another is missing, I can't imagine better image of solitude, of loneliness. You understand? Can I go further? In the first part, where we talk about childhood, I mean with images, there is also a shell. I've already said that all the objects have been carefully chosen with special meanings, with symbols of something very important here. And in the second part, the shell is present on the stage again, but in another scale. It is so big that the actor can go into it and to close, how to say, the door of it, to be alone. In fact, she was alone. But when the shell was open, it became the possibility to make it wings. So not to be hidden, but to go away, to jump, to live, you know. So this image was transforming shell into wings. I didn't mention before, but in this performance, I have 5 performers, girls, I mean, performing girls, and all of them are changed in different parts of the performance. All of them have the same dress, the same color of dress. They are more or less neutral, and by this, I wanted to say that it can be any of us. It is not the biographical story about one certain person. Not only that, you know, it involves anyone who hasn't been born yet, anyone living who we don't know, any of us. Here you can see what are puppets in this performance for me. Some people don't accept this handwriting and this way of thinking, but for me, this foam the girl is using is also puppet, but it is puppet which hasn't been done in the workshop previously. It has been made on the stage at the moment of the performance. So she tries to make something. The artist tries to paint. She tries to form something, but it is very fragile, like all the essential things in the world. Another thing, it was drawing with ice on the wall. No wonder that I've chosen ice, because she was aquarellist, you know, water painting, yes, so it has this important role. Here you can see what I was talking about this jumping and pretending to be a bird. Slava Raškaj imagined that she is a bird when she was in Asilium, and then she was jumping from the benches. What does it mean? It means she was in fact in the cage. Here you can see the how scenography can also become a costume. And here, when she is playing with this big canvas, which is covering all the stage, the whole stage, she is crouching down on the floor and tries to make flowers out of this material. But the flowers fade away, disappear from her hands. Nothing is, how to say, for all the times. And then she tries to make a partner, to say someone she'd like to love, to live with. And it also, she takes this material and with her hand up, tries to illustrate that she's not alone. But after some time, it also falls down and comes to the end. Here are some referent points, which I'm going to skip because we have all the same clue for other performances. Another is Hours of Sand, but now I have to mind the time and see what we are going to do in the second half. Okay.
Andrius, just a second. Can you send, I will send you now from my Zoom a link, and can you send to Urte a link? Because I don't have her mail. Okay, see you in a few minutes. Stop share. Stop all. I boy. I book.